All right, Shalom. All praise to you. How about Shemi Al Shai, about Shem Har Kakadash, the belongs to the apostle of the great millstone. And salute sounds to you, brothers out there preaching this word, asserting truth. All right, I got this article here from Associated Press. It's entitled Job Losses from Virus. It's the COVID virus, 4 times as bad as '09 financial crisis. All right. Yeah, back in 2008, 2009, that was a financial crisis, and it believe it took uh, seven or 800 billion to bail out the banks because the banks were gonna go under if they didn't receive a bailout. All right, so the government had to pass legislations to bail out the banks at that time. You know, I believe it was over 700-800 billion. Okay, but since 2020, this virus, um, the government, bailouts, the people and all these other, companies and stuff like that. Um, it pales in with '08, '09 pales in comparison of this time, man, of what this virus did. All right, and destroying the economy. Okay, and ultimately, this is the Most High bringing down this place. All right, and the agenda of the elites are they want to move everything to a digital platform. All right, digital currency. So they want to get basically hyperinflate the dollar to oblivion. All right. Soon you're gonna have the banks come out and say they need a bailout as well. All right, and I believe that's gonna be in the trillions, like at least 20 trillion. All right, so that's definitely gonna put the dollar out of commission. All right, so continuing on, 4 times as many jobs were lost last year due to the coronavirus pandemic as during the worst part of the global financial crisis in 2009, a UN report said Monday. All right, the International Labor Organization estimated that the restrictions on business and public life destroyed 8.8 of all work hours around the world last year. That is equivalent to 255 million full-time jobs, quadruple the impact of the financial crisis over a decade ago. All right, this is a global thing. All right, trying to get rid of the paper fiat currency and hyperinflate it to zero, and move the world on the digital networks. The blockchain technologies. This has been the most severe crisis of the world of work since the Great Depression in the 1930s. Its impact is far greater than that of the global financial crisis of 2009, said ILO Director General Guy Ryder. The fallout was almost equally split between reduced work hours and unprecedented job losses, he said. The United Nations agency noted that most people who lost work stopped looking for a job altogether, because of the restrictions on businesses that hire a big number of like restaurants, bars, stores, hotels, and other services that depend on face-to-face interaction. Yep. And all these establishments are, they have to basically work at a 25% occupancy rate. All right, so they're losing out on 75% of business. Okay. The drop in work translated to the loss of 3.7 trillion in income globally. What Ryder called an extraordinary figure, with women and young people taking the biggest hits. See that? Women. because there's more women than men, and then a lot of women hold them jobs, and they lost them during this pandemic. All right, and that goes into Isaiah 32nd chapter. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. All right. The ILO report expects a bounce back in jobs in the second half of the year, but that depends on a reduction in coronavirus infections. All right, this pandemic, it ain't going nowhere, man. All right, they're just gonna come out with more and more mutations, and the rollout of the vaccines. All right, that's in their agenda too. They want to get everybody on the planet Earth to be pumped up with these vaccines. All right. So it's many different, agendas that's going on during this pandemic. All right, they get a lot of their plans, their lists, their to do list checked off. All right, to during this pandemic, the you know, and we've done a lot of videos on the vaccines as well. So you already know. Currently, infections are rising or remain stubbornly high in many countries, and vaccine distribution is still slow overall. Okay, so there you go, man. Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. All right, that goes into the economists, the whole financial system. Shall tremble, and the strong men shall shall bow themselves, and the grinder cease. The grinder goes into work. Like Jake say, I'm grinding. That means work. All right. So work cease, grinders cease, because there are few. There are few jobs out here. All right. There are a few jobs out here because the pandemic basically destroyed all the jobs, millions and millions of jobs. All right. So it's few jobs left, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. All right. So the future of America is bleak. All right. Going in, the manufacturing. There's no manufacturing in America. Not exporting any goods to other countries. All right. Consumer nation. That's what America, Great Babylon is, a consumer nation. All right. But this place is bleak. It's bleak. There's no future here, man. That's why a lot of people moving out this country, man. Okay. And a lot of people like moving out of badly economic hit states in America. And the doors shall be shut in the streets. These businesses shall be shut in the streets. When the sound of the grinding is low, he shall rise up to the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. That's this terrible music out nowadays. All right. And the alarm clock that used to wake you up to go to work. It's there's no reason to have an alarm clock on. All right. Isaiah 19:14. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof. Now, Egypt is also America. All right. Revelation 11, 11 to 18, or 11 to 8, if I'm not mistaken. There's Sodom and Egypt. Okay, spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Okay, that's America. To err in every work thereof, as a drunken man stagger in his vomit. Okay, is the point. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. Okay. So we're living in that time where there's no work in Egypt. Okay. And more jobs are going to be lost. All right. And that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and shall be afraid or fear of the shaking of the hand of the Lord. And that's what the Lord doing. He's shaking his hand on this place. He's smacking this place up, destroying these jobs. Shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it. All right. So yeah, man. Lord is further than destroying this place. All right. So so Esau, he's basically gonna print all this, all this fiat currency, the hyperinflated death. And you think this is bad. Wait till the hyperinflation happens. All right. When the hyperinflation when the hyperinflation happens, that don't mean, millions of jobs gonna come back. It's gonna be a hyperinflation depressionary scenario. Okay. Now we're in the we're in the depressionary scenario. This is depression right now. Add hyperinflation on top of that. All right. There's gonna be a lot of hurt people out there, man. A lot of hurt people, especially so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans. That's the time you're gonna starve. That's the time the famine is gonna happen. All right, and that's another plague from the Heavenly Father shaking his hand on this place. All right, Shalom.